Hey YouTube, I thought I'd use this nice new webcam, which you can see I've managed to just tweak the settings so they're a little bit better. Turns out the camera for some reason has a blurriness setting, literally has a setting for how fuzzy the image is, and it's a bit strange on a camera that's got an autofocus. I mean, you've got a camera that can basically say like, yes, look, the image is perfectly sharp. Now decide how blurry you want it to be on top of that. Why? I don't know. Anyway, I thought I'd start doing a Wombleblog because I'm still the type of person who goes out and finds interesting little things in the street, people throwing them out, and think, oh, I can reuse that in some way. So I thought I'd keep a little blog of them and what I'm going to be up to with them, because I don't get something that's like, that looks useful, I'll never use it. It's I try not to anymore. I used to quite a bit, hence the workshop. But yeah, so I thought I'd do a little blog about things I find and pick up or scavenge from here and there, and what I'm planning to use them for. Been out today before it started raining. May better hear the patter of rain on the roof. So I went out today and did a little bit of wombling around the local area. Only found 3 items. Best to do it before the rain hits too badly. Anyway, first of all, one nice little set of drills. I mean, it's actually a little bit bigger than I thought it was. You know, I had imagined in my head that it would fit in a smaller area I had behind the drill over there. You know, just use it for keeping all the separate drills in, all the separate, keeping all the separate, what's this in? It's got nice little tags, little drawer labels. It's in reasonable good nick. It did catch a small shower, so it is a little bit drying out. There's, you can see there's a little bit of water staining on the inside there. But aside from that, it's not warped very much. It's alright. It just needs a little bit of clean up. It'll be alright. But that'll be perfect for keeping the different types of drill bits separate, and the various lathe tools and all the rest of it. They're going in there quite nicely, I reckon. So that's a good find. That's going to be useful for organising the workshop. Same place I also found this, which appears to be an ammunition crate. You can see on that, 600 cartridges, .303. I don't know an awful lot about ammunition, but I did look it up. There's no collector's value in them really. A few people are trying to flog off ones that are in mint condition. This one's quite rusty, and I think it might have a couple of bits missing around the lock, but I don't know. But yeah, all I've managed to figure out is that this used to contain rifle ammunition, and according to that serial number there is dated 1954. But needs a little bit of clean up around the clips here. It does open up. It's not rusted through anywhere. It's actually got drainage holes, which is why when I picked this up I thought that looks like the stamp for ammunition. I don't know an awful lot about them, but it looks like an ammunition designation. So I presumed it would be a hermetically sealed container like they use these days. There's some sort of seal around to keep the moisture out of the stuff, and apparently it was actually used for glycerin-based rounds, so I'm really surprised that there's basically no sealing in it at all. And it actually has holes in the underside for letting moisture drain out of it. You know, different days. It just seems anyway, it's about the same size as the members box I used to have at the Hackspace. I took that home before they moved the new venue, so there was a little bit less stuff to move. But it's pretty cracked up because I put a 3-phase motor in it. So I thought this might do quite nicely as a new members box. And somewhere up here on these shelves there are items that I should have prepared in advance for making this video. But basically up here there are... there's one of them. There's a giant chrome W. That's obviously not what thing I'll be using, but I thought since it doesn't apparently have very much integral value, and it's about the same size as the members box, and it's a bit sturdier than the little plastic ones, I thought I'd I've got these came from my father's workplace. So when they changed offices, we got to tear out anything that was left behind before the next people renting the place got it and just skipped the whole lot. And that included these. Well, it was some signage, which some fairly nice heavy. I think they're actually brass, chrome brass possibly. But signage, these letters of the name of the company, I can't say it, of course, don't want to implicate anyone at all. You have permission to do it, of course, but still as they want to get involved. In case I bring his company into disrepute. But basically, there's enough there to spell Psy with a capital S and a small C and an I. So I thought I might put them on the side of the box there so everyone knows it's mine. It'll make it stand out a bit more than just having the sticky label on the front of it. Oh, we're going to get the OK for putting that in place first, of course, but it seemed like a nice idea. It seems like a nice idea. Cool. Ooh, that's quite good. It is quite large now. I don't have an awful lot of stuff to store at the space, so I probably want to get in on the box sharing scheme, where people who don't have an awful lot of stuff that want things stored in situ share boxes with people, and I think this could be some prime real estate here. I mean, look at that. That's lasted 60 odd years. It's still in good nick. No one's going to miss it, are they? Everyone's always talking about, like, oh yeah, I tried to find your members box, but you know, this one box that looks exactly like all the others. Couldn't find the thing on the shelf, but yeah, you're not going to miss that, are you? You're not going to miss that by a long shot. Finally, also something I spotted that I thought might be good for the hack space. Put you back up there, W. Is this. It's an electric fire. It's not even a very fancy one, it's one of these cheap ones you can see knocked out in catalogues. There's basically, up here there's a cross-flow fan and a heating element, and down here there's a chamber with a light bulb, and here are a lot of fake rocks. I actually have to wonder at what point does it become more cost effective to make fake rocks that are lighter and will save you carriage costs than it does to just use some rocks instead of having to manufacture rocks. It's a puzzler. But anyway, found this up the road. The cable's all chewed up. It's got a little bit of water damage up on the... This is not meant for desks. Up here, there's a little bit of blown, but... Let's move you down. It's a little bit blown. Doesn't matter, I'm doing fiberglass work in a minute, so I'm not exactly yeah, but it's not been out in the rain so long, it's still got dust on it, so it's a little bit tacky, but it hasn't been out long enough to wash the dust off otherwise. I mean, this is all just fiberboard, it would have blown, the whole thing would have swelled up and cracked and so on, but yeah, what I'm going to do there is, at the very least, I'm going to take out the heating element and the cross-flow fan, because they're useful, handy to have around parts. Rewire it so it has no heating functions at all, and it'll just be a light box. It'll just look like a ornate fire, because I've asked on the mailing list, and if people are interested in having it there, it's just a nice little feature I thought for the seating area, make it feel a little more homely. But we have central heating there, and you don't want someone coming in, turning it on, wasting kilowatts of power. I mean, I doubt it's that powerful. The heating element looks quite small, but you don't want people wasting that amount of power, so just turn it into basically a fancy lamp. Just there to add a bit of mood to the place. But so far people are saying that there's not an awful lot of space, so we'll see what happens there. I mean, worst case I have to chuck it out again, and get a few components out of it, which is, you know, all I really expect from any salvage electronics I find. You just pull out the bits you can use and chuck the rest. Of course, if you're smart, you keep a box of copper sitting around somewhere that you can flog off for a few quid later on as well, which is quite nice. Well, that's one of the things people seem to forget about salvaging, is that you've got sort of several stages. You've got the stage where it's like, is it something that you can repair? And if it's not, then what components can you remove from it? And then there's a stage beyond that where you start considering what materials the item is actually made from and how you can use the materials. So there's like 3 different stages. You know, what it is made of, and what it is made of is made of. And so it's quite interesting when you start thinking about that, because you start getting much more use out of things. And you see the cable's just chewed to hell there. It's just, ugh. Oh, bare wire there. That's terrible. And it looks melted through. That's a bad job, but that does sort of give you the single point of failure that that suggests that the rest of it is likely alright. If the cabling is physically damaged and is such a badly damaged state, then, well, if the main power's gone, the rest of it isn't going to work, is it? So you've got a cascade there. It's not going to be the. There are no more points down the line from which it could fail. Once that's gone, the rest of it will stop working. Anyway, that's rambling on a bit now, and that'll be my first Wombleblog, and I'll do more as and when I find interesting things that I might want to make a little bit of comment about. If for no other reason than I know there's a certain vicarious feeling among people who do tend to recycle things they find. Yeah, there's a lot of people who do that for like what do they call it in the States, dumpster diving, or in the UK, wombling things out of skips and so forth. You just like, you have that feeling like even if you don't yourself do it, you're like, oh, that's a fantastic find. You feel good for people doing it, and I hope people do it as well. But then again, it may be just a case of like, I found this, I want to give it a good home. So I might do that occasionally as well. And I am trying to actually clear stuff out. So I would hope that most of the things I find will be quite small and interesting rather than large and interesting, as today has turned out, because these are much larger. This is like a cubic meter of stuff, and that's much more than I wanted to pull home today. Anyway, I'll catch you in the next video, whatever that may be. Hopefully the teardown / review of a robot arm I've got up on the shelf there that I've been meaning to do for ages and ages and ages. Anyway, until next time, ta-da!